You watch on Mile Drive, a channel where I teach you to buy the right car, and today I have a 2025 BMW X1 xDrive 28i that has a 2-liter turbo engine with 241 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, and I have this burning question. Who would actually buy this X1 and why? And should you actually spend $7,000 more and just get X3 30i instead? Moreover, does this car have BMW DNA at all? And if so, where is it expressed the most? So first I'm going to drive this BMW X1 in the city to discuss its acceleration, braking, steering, basically what is it like driving this X1 in day-to-day life. Then I'm going to take it on the highway to discuss its sound insulation, seat comfort, and again, what is it like spending hours in this car. And finally, I'm going to take it to the Twisty to discuss the suspension, balance, safety, and basically see, does this X1 have a BMW DNA? And at the end, I'll tell you, is it even worth buying this car? And if this is the first time you watch 100 Mile Drive, well, this is the channel where I say, before you buy a BMW X1 or any other car, don't just settle for a 5-minute test drive from the dealership block. Instead, rent a similar car and drive it for at least 100 miles in city streets, highway, and twisty roads to be able to answer the biggest question I'm answering on this channel: how does it feel to drive? And by the way, thanks to BMW Boss Smith of Calabasas for loading me this exact car while mine is in service. By the way, guys, I'm gonna mention two really cool features that this car has that my X3 M40i does not have, and I wish it had them. And first, I wanted to walk around this BMW X1 xDrive 28i. This particular car finished in the blue lagoon metallic. I really like this color. I think it looks better in person than in photos or videos. Now, this car has this active grille that opens and closes for cooling. And I actually like this car more than the new X3. Honestly, the X3 I think looks a little bit goofy in my opinion. Now, you should definitely get this car in M Sport trim if you can. The only thing, it comes with adaptive M suspension, and I hope it doesn't ruin the experience of this car, which I'm going to discuss as we drive it. Now, one of the things that I like that this car has and mine didn't is that this particular car comes with regular tires. Now, all new 2025 models now come with regular tires and the spare, so no more run flats that ruin the experience. These are 245 R19, very comfortable tires. Again, I'll discuss them more as we drive. Now, coming on the rear, and I really like the tail lights of this car, especially in this blue color. It kind of gives me hints of the BMW XM. Let me know what you think. The only thing I wish this the bumper, was not chrome and it was black instead. Now let's quickly look at the trunk. So one of the two things that I wanted to reveal is one of them is the regular tires, which is really cool, I think. And this is the spare. You get the spare with this car. Also, compared to my X3, you get this net here. You can put your little items here, as you can see here. And even this plastic tray. This is really cool that my X3 does not have. Overall, the cargo space is pretty decent. Now, let's do a quick door sound check. All right. And you know what? I like how the door closes. It feels heavy and solid. It's a very solid sound. I like it. Let's even listen to the rear door. I have to unlock it. It locks every time. All right. Not as good, but still pretty good. All right, let's get on the inside. And as we get on the inside, I want to discuss the interior quality of this X1. Now, this is what the cabin looks like, new seats, and this is what the overall look. Now, first starting with the door. Now, with X1, of course, you'll get more plasticky stuff like this door handle. Now, this upper trim materials are leather red, but they're kind of on the harsher side. At least they're not fabric like in the 2025 X3. Some stitching here, some harsher materials, softer materials here, soft here as well. This is your typical plastic, but it looks fine. Well, let's get on the inside. Now, you agreed with this nice new steering wheel, and this is a non-M Sport trim, and it looks kind of nice. This is leather wrapped. Let's start the car, and hopefully the music doesn't start again like it starts all the time. Okay, I just muted it. Now, these are upper trims, leather materials. This is a head-up display, by the way. It's part of the premium package. These look really nice. And guys, by the way, if you like audio, make sure you get premium package because you do get Harman Kardon. And the second feature that I really like about this car, which I'm gonna discuss on the highway. Now, of course, your plastic stuff. Now this might develop cracks over time. Piano, there's some shiny chrome stuff. See, when you press them, they look nice now. This car only has 58 miles, but over time, I don't know if they will develop any cracks. This is really nicely molded. This like came from BMW i3, but you know, to me it looks like an electric car. Now overall, this interior, I understand what BMW is doing. They're trying to say, hey, you know what, we don't make any more boring interior design. This is something new. But honestly, they're going away from their heritage, right? And then what is this all about right here? Like, this used to be very elegant, kind of closed. Now, yes, in some way it is handy. You can put your cell phone and then look at this kind of clip that closes it. I don't know, to me this looks a little funny. Not as elegant. To me this looks like electric car's interior more than the gas car interior, but that's where BMW is going. I don't want to criticize them too much for this, but I actually do. Now, this cup holder is fine for like smaller cups, but if you have something taller like this one, right, from Starbucks, this kind of moves around when you drive. It doesn't have like good deep cup holders or a good, like, you know, mechanism to hold it in place. Now you'll say, hey, you know what, I can put this in the door, but the problem with the door is that there's no good barrier there, so this bottle will move there as well, and it did when I was driving, so kind of a little bit off there. So you need to find a perfect bottle with some rubber mat maybe that will stick there and it doesn't scratch your interior. Otherwise, it's not bad. Now, as far as the seats, right, these are new seats. They are on the firmer side, but I really like them more than, let's say, my 2023 X3. Everything is better than my X3 seats, actually. And the other cool part is that this particular car, unlike the new X3, has the proper open sunroof experience, right? The new X3, you only get the moonroof, you don't get this opening here. I don't know why, but with X1, you are getting that. All right, let me quickly jump on the rear seats. And I am in the rear of the BMW X1. I am 6 feet 2 inches tall, so I have plenty of headroom. For anyone thinking if this is gonna be fine for tall people, absolutely great. Another thing I want to point out, there's something in the style of these new seats that make them quite comfortable. I mean, you know, they are kind of firm, like I feel my back is straight, but they are comfortable. I can definitely spend many hours in this car, and this is definitely better than my X3 2023 model. I can literally, you know, enjoy sitting here in the rear seats. Now, this is what the door looks like in the back. There's your Harman Kardon stuff, your metal door handle, and you are greeted with these vents here to adjust your, you know, your speed of the fan, your USB-C, and a little tray for your loose stuff. All right, let's go ahead and drive it. And first, I'm gonna drive BMW X1 in the city. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car. I'm going to go to the sport mode. So I'm going to my mode, sport, that's active. Go to drive, and let's check its acceleration just to get a feel for it. Now, for those who don't know, now BMW X1 comes standard with all-wheel drive, meaning no more wheel slips, no more that torque steer from the front wheels. So, you know, you're getting really good, confident takeoff from the start, and of course in all these weather conditions. And I am a big advocate for all-wheel drive crossovers, especially, or SUVs, because they give you more confidence, and you know, especially when your tires wear out a little bit. All right, let's do one more quick takeoff from the stop, and then we'll discuss the acceleration. Let's just stop right here. Stops pretty well, actually. All right, let's go. Yeah, no wheel slips. Nice. Yeah, feels good overall. So 0 to 60, it's rated about 6.2 seconds. This is a 241 horsepower. Now, Car and Driver was able to launch this in 5.5 seconds. How does it feel in the real world? It feels pretty quick. For this tiny car, it feels pretty quick, so it does feel satisfying. Now, of course, we're not expecting here like a BMW M Power or not even the 6-cylinder power, but for what it is, it feels pretty good. Like, it's a good spot. One more acceleration here. Let's go. yeah, it's torquey. It revs pretty nicely. Now, also what I was surprised to find out that this car has a dual clutch transmission. It's a 7-speed dual clutch. Now, I spent some time trying to understand how it works. Like, does it work faster than the ZF 8-speed that BMW puts pretty much everywhere? And kind of honestly, not quite. Maybe it's because it's tuned that way, but once you experience like a Porsche PDK dual clutch transmission, you will be comparing every dual clutch transmission to that as a benchmark. But that is a sports car, right? So I think the dual clutch here is just tuned more for like a comfort, you know, so not for like aggressive shifts. Now, as far as braking, it does brake pretty well. These are not like your strong M Sport brakes, but it does stop satisfyingly. The only thing I do hear some weird sound, like it comes from tires. So I don't know if it's the brake pads are too new, maybe it needs a little bit more time to kind of, you know, settle in, or is it just how it is? But it doesn't sound kind of right. Yeah, there's a little bit extra sound coming from the tires or brake pads, but it does not affect the braking. Now, let's throw it in the comfort mode and quickly talk about the steering. Now, one thing I like about this X1 is that the first glimpse of the BMW DNA in this car you get with the steering, because it's on the lighter side, like it's a light steering, but it's not loose. Of course, BMW cannot make a loose steering, but it's so pointy. Like even if it's a light steering, you just point a little bit and it just follows really well. I really like that. I mean, this is what kind of buys you into BMW, because you immediately see the control that you get, and then the whole body follow through is really nice. Like it, you know, tires don't get overloaded. It just fluently moves. It doesn't like lean on too much on the right or left. It just stays fluently, and that steering just kind of hooks you up. So I really like that. And in sport mode, it does tighten up a little bit. So that's where you start feeling BMW at the first glance. Of course, the other thing which I kind of like is transmission in this car. It works so well. Now, for folks who are going to be considering this car, probably the ones who are coming from Toyotas, Hondas, Mazdas, right? So one better thing that this car does than Mazda is the transmission. Mazda cannot put the right automatic transmission in their cars, especially like in Miata, like that should not even have automatic transmission. But this, whether they put the ZF transmission in this or this dual clutch 7-speed transmission, makes this car so much better. Like the experience you get is so good because it doesn't have any delays. It just shifts so nicely in all the modes. There is some lag, turbo lag, but it's almost, you know, not noticeable, right? It's only when you're in comfort mode, you need the mid-range power. You know, otherwise it's so fluent. It just feels so right. And also I want to say that compared to the old X1, this car is completely on another level in terms of driving dynamics. So I'm going to ride on my favorite bumpy roads and I'll discuss suspension in this car. And now driving on my favorite Tampa Avenue just to experience the little potholes and bumps on this road and discuss this X1 suspension. So overall, it is a firm car, let's put it this way. But unlike the old X1, this has a lot more comfort. So it's a firm car, but it still soaks the bumps pretty nice. The suspension, the shocks, they really do their job. So they do absorb these imperfections. Not like to the point where it is very satisfying, but it does have a little bit of a gliding motion. So there is some premium feel to it. So I wonder what the X1 M Sport with adaptive suspension do. Like, will it add a little bit more sophistication to this? Because the adaptive suspension is supposed to read the road and just kind of adapt a little more to it, which this one doesn't. But I don't want it to be firmer than this car. Like this is like the right amount of firmness, and it does have comfort. Now, regular tires do help in this case because the contact with the road is still soft, which I really like. Also, seats Seats feel good. They are not like firm like in my X3. They just feel just right. So overall, it's a pleasant experience. So even if you drive this car on like a beat up roads, like in LA, for example, you will still be pleasantly surprised that even X1, you know, has that premium feel that you will enjoy. So that's pretty good. Now let's quickly just discuss what is it like living with this car, right? And who would be buying this? Now again, people who would buying this car are the ones who are coming from, you know, Toyotas and non-luxury segment, right? And you will be pleasantly surprised because this cabin does feel more upscale than Toyotas and Hondas, than Kias. You know, Kia actually not bad. The driving experience is where you're gonna be mostly pleasantly surprised because of the steering feel. The steering feels just right, just nice. I think only Mazda would feel something close. I did like new Honda CR-V hybrid though, steering as well. The transmission in this car feels absolutely right, and this car has decent power. I mean, it picks up really well, and all that, imagine you can get 24, 25 miles to the gallon in the city and 33 on the highway. I mean, isn't that great, right? So this car is very fuel efficient despite you are getting all that performance. Now, is it roomy? Yes, it's not bad. It feels almost like my X3. So they kind of grew in size. Yes, X3 is a little bigger. Now the new X3 is even bigger than my older X3. So I am yet to review that car. So wait on that as soon as I get my hands on that new X3. But otherwise, anyone buying this car, think you will enjoy the experience. Again, rent it for a day, spend time with it, make sure you like it, make sure you understand everything it does, and then that will, give you that final, like a decision point where whether you're gonna buy this car or not. All right, let me take it to the highway. All right, we are just in comfort mode, floor it, and this is on ramp. Let's go. Yeah, it's adequate. It's adequate. Of course, it's not like blazing power, but it's definitely, enough for most folks. And I kind of read Car and Driver more. They even say don't get the 135i because it's kind of harsher, right? It kind of spoils the comfort experience. Yes, it's more powerful, but in my opinion, in that case, just get the X3 M50. That's the right car to get, or just the 3 Series, if you want the proper BMW. All right, the first thing I want to experience here is the sound insulation in this cabin. So let me pick up some speed. "61, 62, 62. That's not bad, actually. That's honestly, I mean, it's not like really super quiet, but based on this, it's, it's pretty good. It's very similar to X3, like my car that I have. There is some wind you hear around the windshield, but it's not excessive. It's acceptable. So overall, like, what is it like driving this car, right, on the highway? Well, it just floats really nicely. This is another place where even if you're not driving this car quick or anything, just cruising on the highway, you get comfortable seats, which are pretty supportive. You have good tires. These tires feel just right. These are Continental Pro tires. And suspension does feel right. It's not, you don't have any jittery kind of motions. It's very settled. Steering feels just right on the highway. And guys, the second feature that I'm about to reveal is that finally now, when you buy a premium package, you get your adaptive cruise control, guys. Finally, BMW did this. Do you know how many times I criticized BMW that I have to look into that driving assistance pro package to get a LiDAR system just to get the adaptive cruise control? Now, many people commented, hey, it's a BMW, you don't need that. But hey, when you're driving on long journeys, there's no driving it aggressively. You just want to enjoy, spending time. You want to get to your destination, and that's where adaptive cruise control is sometimes all you need. So it just keeps the distance, that you don't have to keep looking at this, braking, accelerating. You just, you know, look and enjoy. And this car has it finally. So that's nice, and that's something that my car does not have. So anyone considering new BMW, I highly recommend premium package, as it comes with really good stuff, at least in this X1 for sure. And lastly, I want to check out the mid-range power, right? So let's see how this dual clutch transmission does. So I'll stay in the comfort mode, and then I'm just gonna floor it and see how it picks up. All right, floor it. Delay builds up, and yeah, power is really good. Has really adequate power. Just gonna close a little bit here. So no problem there. Yes, there is like a second, almost like 2 seconds delay. So let me try one more time. Let me change lane. We're not trying to go fast, just trying to experience this. Floor it. Yeah, it takes time, builds, but not bad, not bad. All right, now let me put it in sport mode. Let's just say, you know, let us go to my modes. I still don't understand this my modes thing. And then go to sport mode, right? Things become a little bit more aggressive. Floor it. Yeah, it just builds power much quicker. Yeah, and I think sound is also a little bit amplified through speakers because it's a little, you know, louder. Again, let's try it one more time. Now the transmission is revving a little bit more, so it stays in a lower gear. So I have to go to comfort mode to let it settle, and then go back to sport mode. And now let's try it. Driving, driving, driving. Floor it. Yes, this is good. This feels right. Now again, I think you should get, another reason to get the M Sport package is because you will get paddle shifters, and that's another quick access to your, you know, immediate power, right? So you can downshift quickly, drop 2 gears, and then boom, go quickly. So there you have it, guys. So this is driving on a highway, absolutely nice. This exceeded my expectations. Now let me take it on the twisty roads. And time has come to drive X1 xDrive 28i on the twisty roads. I am in sport active mode. Let's go. So guys, this is the place where you unpack the car. Now, if anyone watching this for the first time, I literally say this every time. In order to understand the character of the vehicle and if it's right for you, part of my test is I take them to the twisty roads, and that's where you get to put the car a little bit more to the stress and kind of see how its chassis, you know, is it balanced, is it safe, not safe. You get to see all of that because it starts to dance a little bit, and it kind of tells you if it's a safe car or not. How does it behave? Do you like it or not? Like all these things unpack. And here we are with the X1 to see, does this have a BMW DNA? And guys, it absolutely does. Because even though this does not have adaptive M suspension, this car holds really well. Now I'm going downhill, I don't need to carry really high speed, but it holds really well. These are non-staggered 245 tires, like wide. So the only limitation I see here is the tires. Like this car could carry quite high speed around the corners. The chassis it does lean, but to the comfortable level. But overall it just stays really well connected to the road throughout the corner. Now, how would adaptive M suspension behave right on the twisty roads? I've spent spent a lot of time with BMWs here. The M Sport adaptive suspension, it basically tightens up the shocks. It's solenoid actuated shocks. They tighten up, and when you start tossing the car around, you will feel like it'll be pressed down more. It's a very cool feeling because when you go a little faster and when you turn, you want things to be tighter. Now, even though this does not have adaptive M suspension, it still holds really well. And when it puts a smile on your face, it means the car is fun to drive, you know. And it is. This X1 is fun to drive. Of course, again, I would look into the M Sport to see how that behaves. But even this one is pretty good. Stays really well. Wow, stays through the corner. I like the body lean is just a little bit, and then it just handles the corner. Yes, the biggest limitation here is tires. It doesn't have enough grip at the rear, so it will start to slide. Now, I'm at the limit. I'm not even going fast, but I'm at the limit. And beyond that, it'll start to slip in the rear. Steering is so amazing, guys. Steering, just you point it and it just goes. Steering feels just fantastic here. Another corner right here, we'll brake, and wow. If you guys have never done the BMW Ultimate Driving event, you should definitely do it, because you're gonna be going through autocross and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do this in the BMWs. So, wow, I am quite impressed, you know, and for me, cars either gain respect or lose respect here on the canyon roads. And like I said, I don't even have to drive them fast. I just need the car to turn, twist, to understand what is it made of, what are the ingredients. And this exact BMW has the right ingredients. Now, let me go ahead and summarize this. And I just completed driving BMW X1 xDrive 28i in the city, highway, and twisty roads. And I want to say that this car exceeded my expectations. Now, I've driven, like I said, the previous generation X1, and I absolutely hated that car. The biggest reason was it was very bumpy. Like, it was just unforgivingly bumpy. And I just thought, like, why would you even get that car? So to me, BMW was starting from the X3, not the X1. Now, with this generation and with this particular car, I'm happy to announce that the X1 is kind of like revived, and you can definitely consider it, because it does have a BMW DNA, which I was able to unpack today. Definitely enjoyed its acceleration for this 4-cylinder. Steering is really nice, crisp, precise. Handling characteristics are really good. So I recognize the BMW that I know in this. Now, I'm not 100% sold in the interior, but in the X1, it's kind of okay. I don't quite like in the X3 what they did, and you know, still not fully subscribed to going all into the screen rather than having a mix of buttons in the screen. So I hope BMW reconsiders that and then just, you know, changes that in their design. Now, back to the main question. Should you be like ignoring this car and just going straight to the X3, paying that extra $7,000? The answer is you don't have to. Now, if you are someone who budgeting in this price, this size works for you, you know, you're stepping into the BMW family, then this X1 will do just fine. Just make sure you pick between the M Sport and non-M Sport. Now, I can't speak for M Sport because I don't know if it's going to make it firmer and bumpier, which I don't want to. If not, then it will make it more premium. So that's what I'm hoping that it does. So if this video, you know, gains some traction, then I'll definitely find the M Sport trim and then check out that adaptive M Sport suspension. Now, but for anyone looking, of course, for bigger size, more comfort, then, you know, you can consider X3, but you don't have to. I'm really happy with this X1. As far as the M135, again, I'm not sure about that. From what I've read, it is a firmer car. And do you really need more power in this trim? I don't think so. I don't think you need X1 with more power. If you want more power, get X3 M50, because that is the right car where you're gonna experience the B58 engine. So let me know what you think, guys. You know, are you considering this car? Do you have one? What are your thoughts on this? Again, I'm also really happy it has regular tires, not the run flat tires that I've been talking about so much on my channel. And you know, if you want to watch another video where I talk about the BMW X5 versus my X3, you can watch another video, and I'll catch you next time.